I said earlier on that we will have Lawrence Obonyo, who is an advocate of the High Court. And I've said it here before. He deals with family matters. And today we're diving deep into family matters, understanding sources and principles of family law in Kenya. Lawrence, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
My sincere apologies for running late.
It's okay.
Pole sana.
Tumekusamehe.
Asante sana. Yes.
So, when we shared this, and I was telling the producers, like, family matters is so huge when you're saying principles of family law in Kenya.
Yes.
How about we begin with what is family law and why is it so important in the Kenyan context?
In the Kenyan context, first of all, thank you so much. Family law is very, very important because the way we think about it is that family is the basic unit of every society.
Yes.
You cannot talk about a society or a country when you're not talking about the basic unit. It's like when you talk about in biology, when you start with the atom.
Yes.
So without having a family, you will not have a society, you will not have a community, and we will not have a country as Kenya. So I think it is the basic foundation of everything that we do as a society. So having a family in whichever form and shape that we look at it is the best way of starting a foundation of anything, any nation, any community, any generation starts from a family unit.
So when we say family law, what is that?
Okay, so family law essentially it's very wide. It's
broad, yeah.
It's very broad.
Yeah.
When you talk about family law, you're talking.
What does it cover?
It covers children matters.
Okay.
It covers marriages. It covers divorces. It covers succession. It covers matrimonial issues, whereby you talk about matrimonial division or matrimonial property.
Yeah.
So family law covers a lot. It covers everything. And you see, when you talk even about children matters, that one is also a wide path.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay. And to what extent, when you're looking at our constitution, to what extent does the Constitution of Kenya shape or guide our family law?
The Constitution of Kenya, first of all, as we know it, is the living dream and aspirations of the people.
Yeah.
It is actually giving life into what our thoughts and our feelings are. So, stemming from the Constitution acknowledges the family as the basic unit of a society. So, the Constitution has given a special place in what constitutes a family, and that may bring us to that very, very difficult question of whether same-sex individuals would be allowed to form a family and everything. But according to the definition that we have, that is on paper, is man and woman. So that's how it is. And why would we have such in our constitution? Yeah. That would bring us now again back as to what do we put in our constitution, or what does constitute our laws. And before you look at the social aspects of the laws the way they are, you have to understand that our laws are interpreted within the backdrop of what we believe in. Yeah. What we believe in has already been codified or reduced into some sort of understanding in terms of the religion. So you find that religion also plays a major part in defining what we have in our constitution.
That's interesting. You've just mentioned same-sex marriage, and I know it's happening in our society right now.
Yes.
But I want to take you back to when you say a family constitutes of man and woman.
Yes,
right.
That would be the essence of how to start it.
Right.
Yes.
So when a family constitutes of man and woman, I was speaking to a friend of mine who shared he's divorced. So he's currently divorced, and he was talking about how every single time he had his son pray, the son said was asking for mom and dad to live together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because according to the son, he kept on saying that, may God give us a complete family.
Yes.
Like, we want a family, right? So the dad kept on asking, what is this family that this boy is talking about? And according to the child, when he eventually asked the son said, well, we're told in school a family is mom, dad, children, right?
Correct.
And so this unit needs to live together.
Indeed.
Coexist together.
Yes.
But even in the family setup, we're seeing it we're seeing broken families. We're seeing a separate mom. We're seeing a separate dad. Now, if we're looking at family matters, now I'm going to bring the child in this. How do we ensure that even the child, who most of the time gets to question and gets so confused, because in school, the curriculum, indeed, it says mom, dad, child, right?
Yes.
That's a new, is it the new, that's not the nuclear. So
it
should be the nuclear.
Yes.
Okay.
A nuclear family, that would be.
Yes, that's the nuclear family.
Yes.
How then do you explain this to a child who's so confused? Do we still maintain family? Like that, does that unit still stay even when they don't live together?
I think there's something about what you have referred to as a broken family that requires a lot of deconstruction.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't term it as a broken family, because as a parent or as an adult, if you are living with your child and maybe not living with the other partner, you would wish for everyone to consider this as your complete family, because this is your family.
Yeah.
Whether by choice or by design or by fate, this is what you could term as a family.
Yeah.
But we have the contextual nuances that gives us what we call a society. And that is what the expectation is. The expectation is where there's a child, there has to be two parties. And these two parties have to be mom and dad.
Yeah.
And this is what has been conditioned in most instances. You'll find even psychologists give that aspect, that you need a mother figure, you need a father figure for this and this to be a complete family. Within the context of the society that we are in right now, that is the reality. That is what is expected, because we may pretend that we are urbanized and we are more modern into this and this, but when you go home, your parent or someone back there would ask you, sorry, maybe if it's a lady, when are you getting married? If it's a man, when are you getting married? We need a child and all of this. But two can still be complete. Two individuals without a child can still be complete as a family.
Oh, really?
Then, on the other hand, a mother and a child, they are still a family. A father and a child are still a family.
Yeah.
Because the aspect of what we call broken, it's a very negative aspect to call it broken or incomplete. It is a family. It is a different, but this is very, very progressive and very, very legal in terms of understanding how it is. But the original ideology that stems from religion, that has now influenced some of what is written in our constitution, gives you that notion that it has to be man, woman, and child before we go even into the others. But just to circle back to the question, it is not a broken family, or it is not a different. It shouldn't be that way, because
it shouldn't be a broken or incomplete family.
Indeed, because that child who is praying for a complete family needs to understand that the completion of the family is having the love and caring person to be as your guardian there.
Exactly.
Because even in those instances, we have the aspects of adoption that are there. We have the aspects of blending that comes there. So those are the aspects that we need to look at, so that as a society we can progress in understanding what family is.
Okay. So let's look at the customary law.
And
the role in resolving family issues, especially in rural areas. How significant is customary law in this?
Customary law is I would call it not the main, but it is a contributing aspect of what we have as our codified law today. Because remember, when you talk about customs, you would be talking about different cultures, cultural beliefs. What you may believe depending on where you come from, and your environment may not be what I believe in. So that brings that aspect of customary law, and there was a proviso, because Article 2 of the Constitution gives you the sources of the Constitution of the laws of Kenya, including customary law. But that customary law, if you look at the Judicature Act, sorry, I've just gone all legal. it gives you, section 3 gives you a pre-qualifier that customary law is applicable in Kenya insofar as it's not repugnant to the achievement of justice. So the repugnancy aspect would be that there are certain customary behaviors that are not allowed to be part and parcel of our law.
Okay.
Like, for instance,
Yeah.
we will never deny, and this is just throwing spanner into the works that female circumcision
Yeah.
has been outlawed in this country, but the foundation of it is actually customary law. It is certain customs that deem it as a rite of passage for a certain person to be circumcised, being a female.
Yeah.
Now, so that we can give it a negative connotation, we have called it female genital mutilation.
Yes.
But in that culture, if you were to go with the notion of a female genital mutilation perspective, you would be the outsider who is trying to destroy their customs.
Yeah.
And I've even seen a very learned professor go to court to petition the reintroduction in certain communities of female circumcision.
Yeah.
So you find that looking at it from the context of the society is repugnant to the movement of the society, because it's a danger to the woman, and it's all that, it's not good, and it's forced and all that. But the other aspects of the customary law would be accepted, because this one would be termed as being repugnant to justice, but the rest are accepted. So when you look at when you go back to the question, the role of customary law in founding or shaping family law, it gives us the basic, it gives us the culturally accepted, it puts us in touch with our roots, so much that we don't forget and be all westernized, that now the family law that is codified, we are adopting what is accepted in the West.
When we come to resolving family issues, do you feel like customary law also plays a big role in this?
It used to.
Yeah.
It used to play a big role.
Yeah.
Because customary law would adopt what the judiciary would call right now alternative justice.
AJS.
Yes,
Yeah.
AJS. Because they would mostly employ an aspect of sending emissaries, having mediation, having conciliation, and things like that. Because the conciliatory aspect is that you're given an opportunity with the party with whom you have an issue to try and solve it. But when that cannot work, you bring in a third party who is becoming a mediator to try and mediate. And in this instance, you found that in most communities, if not all, you would have the wise sages, the older individuals, to come in and guide certain conversations, so that you can have alternative dispute resolutions, so much that you would have to focus on strengthening or maintaining the bonds that have been made. Because when you say, as they say in most communities, you don't marry the individual, you marry
the community. Man.
Yeah.
Yes. Before we take a break, I wanna look at now religious law.
Yes.
Like Islamic or Christian personal law.
Yeah.
What role do they play in shaping family matters?
Okay.
Yeah.
Similarly, we have this undeniable fact that religion has become a place of comfort for everyone. So, as we have said that it forms a basis of what we have in our constitution, the same way, let's say the people who profess a certain religion.
Yeah.
Let's take, for instance, Islam. We have the Mohammedan law and we have the Sharia law, the way we look at it. And as much as we may want to have everyone on board in terms of the westernized codified law, we know very well that for certain people from certain religions, they are guided by the principles as per the religion. So how does the law catch up with them? So that we don't have this fall within the category of their religious belief, we have it roped into the law. We take the principles and the guidances that are from the religious aspect, codified it into law, so that the references will be the point of religion in the Holy Quran, in this instance. But you have the laws that are codified, and you also have a court to enforce that. You have the Qadhi's court that is guided with the same principles. But again, it is very limited to only matters of marriage, divorce, succession. Only the three.
Okay.
Yes.
We am speaking to an advocate of the High Court, Lawrence Obonyo, and we're looking at sources and principles of family law in Kenya. If you have a question for us, 0700917917. We will be right back. Anyway, we're talking about principles that govern family law. That's what we're looking at today.
Yeah.
And we've broken down how customary law intermarries, how religion also plays a part in this.
Yeah.
Now, I want us to take a look at now the key principles of family law. What are some of the guiding principles that govern family law in Kenya?
Essentially, it may sound cliche, but some of the key principles is the main one comes back to justice.
Okay.
In essence, it boils down to serving justice to all parties. And now if you go deeper into breaking down what you mean by saying that service of justice is looking at equality in the eyes of law, is looking at aspects of equity where there is a difference in terms of the reach to justice. And then when we go down to the different aspects, then you have the different principles that would come in terms of where you may focus on. And pre our current constitution, before we got here, we had the instances where the law was silent on other aspects. So you had to rely on case law. Like things like when you talk about inheritance, when you would have to have something that is not guided by the Holy Quran, but now we had it in law, in that our sisters, while the law was silent on whether they should inherit from their parents, or they should wait to inherit where they are going to go. That is assuming they would go out of that particular homestead. And you see, that was not equitable. That was not equality in the eyes of law. You had projected one person on a pedestal and put them up there while the other person was left to suffer. So right now, when we have the constitution that clearly spells out, and we say that aside from South Africa, this may be the best constitution around this place or globally, because it goes deeper to give us these principles that give us equality in the eyes of the law.
Okay.
And equity where there is an imbalance.
What is the let me take you back to inheritance.
Yes.
I'm doing a project with FIDA currently. We are doing a project with FIDA currently.
Nice.
And they focused on land justice for women, especially in Kwale County.
Yes.
And it's true what you say, that we still are in a society where women are not allowed to inherit land.
Yes.
And it is true that we are expected to inherit land. More like when you get married, then you will be utenda uko kwao. Get married, uko get your piece of land. It's happening. And it's been ingrained in us so much so that we don't even fight for a piece of land that, let's say, belongs to a family.
Yes.
Naturally, the order of the day is sons. And for the ladies, when you get married, you'll get your piece of land on the other side. And it's not really yours per se.
You're holding it in trust.
And also it's your husband's. So let's say your husband passes on. That's where we see, even now when it comes to the widows, some of them get evicted.
Indeed.
And then the brother-in-laws also get. So when we say serving justice to all parties in relation to this inheritance, are we anywhere close?
So far we have the laws. It is our responsibility and duty as the citizenry to take the laws from the book and put them to test. And make sure that we get the rights of every individual out there. You'll find that we're talking about women, but drop it even lower. Think of a girl child who, for one reason or another, the parents are not there, but they left assets. And this girl child has not attained the age of majority. They're not even thinking of marriage. They're not even there. So you'd find that disinheritance or dispossession of property would happen blatantly from certain individuals. But if you look at our current constitution, the right of ownership of land is to any individual, be they male or female. And when you go now to the intricacies of law of succession, the lady has an equal share to the man, except when you're talking about Islamic law, whereby you deal with their third rule, where a man gets 2, a woman gets 1. So, but that is basically a principle that stems from the Holy Quran.
Yeah.
But there is progress in that before we got to our progress in the Constitution.
Okay.
Because already the Holy Quran had granted them a portion, though not equal, but a portion.
But a portion, yeah.
But here we were bragging on how we are progressive, yet we had denied ours even a portion.
Yeah.
Now, the current Constitution, 2010 Kenya, gives us that aspect, that equality. And you see, the Law of Succession Act looks at every beneficiary as one unit. So, be you a male or female, you are regarded as one unit.
Okay.
So that one unit has equality to share. If the land was 1 acre and there were 4 children, then that parcel of land is divided to 4. Into 4, and each person gets 1. Now, if the mother was still there, it has to be divided by 5. Because the mother is also an individual on her own. She is a unit. So this is what the law says. But what do we apply practically? You find that when you sit or acquiesce on your right, you don't enforce it. Someone tramples on it.
Yeah.
Then they take away your right while you're just watching. Because all you have to do is just take it to court. The court will emphasize on equal units.
Lawrence, you say take it to court.
Yes.
But also, this is now family and this is dispute. And I would like to imagine a situation where
Yes.
we are 5, right? Sorry.
Bless. Thank you.
We are 5, right? And with 2 girls, 3 boys. Naturally, the piece of land is supposed to be divided amongst the 3 boys, right? And I said naturally, right?
No.
I said naturally.
That one is a skewed natural aspect of looking at
according
it.
to our culture, according to the order of the day.
Yes.
And it's so unquestionable. When we have this thing where, the last one is the one who
Remains.
You get, like, it's the last one who remains with the parcel, and then the rest of
I'm
you.
last one.
Very lucky. Very lucky. Last ones, have it the easy way. But last born man, right?
Yes.
So when the distribution happens, and I see this at home. So there's like that piece of land for the last born, and then the other, my 2 other brothers, and then so now my sister is married. So like you're gone, that other piece of land. Now what they've forgotten is that they have a last born who happens to be me, who's not married.
Yes.
So where do I go? Where am I supposed to get a piece of land? And how do I even start this? Because how do I even... You cannot start, because the moment you start, it's like, what are you saying? What do you mean you need a piece of land?
Before we get even to you as the last born, we need to think about your elder sister.
Yeah.
She has a right.
Yes.
To get a property from there. And all she has to do is just lodge a complaint.
You see, the way I've also just forgotten about my sister because she's married.
Yeah, because we're conditioned like that. Because what makes you think that now she's married, she's going to get land?
Exactly.
And even if the land is left out here, I haven't heard you talk about your dad. But if he's the one who did distribution,
Dad is the one who's doing distribution.
If he's still there, did he distribute for his own wife? If he's not there and the rest of you are just distributing because for one reason or another he's not there, did you consider your mother? This is where we as a society, we are supposed to step up.
Yeah.
As champions, it's very easy to have a T-shirt or a bandana or a wristband saying that you champion for human rights and women's rights. But practically put, we need to change our thinking so that before you give this scenario, you start with the matriarch. You start with your mother.
Yes.
You say that she is the one who was with your father. They made or they had all this property.
Yeah.
When it comes to distribution, she is the one to determine how distribution shall be done. But each and every person has to get a parcel. Whether your sister has been married for 41 years, for 10 years, or married yesterday, and whether the last born is married or not,
everybody deserves to.
Everybody gets a portion. That is the law.
That is the law. The law is easy.
We're the ones who make it difficult.
We're the ones who make it difficult.
Yeah.
And now let's look at the principles of equality, because we're on the equality, serve justice to all parties, right?
Yes.
You mentioned equality. How has the principle of equality between spouses evolved over time in Kenyan law?
It has evolved mostly through case law.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, we are told that what is written is actually a sketch map of directions. So the details, we shall feel them when we try the cases, because you have circumstances. There was a very old, and these are cases that maybe our listeners, when they get time and access to internet, they can quickly check.
Okay.
There was the old case of this family called Echaria versus Echaria. This was a basic principle where the place of a woman in terms of inheritance, or the amount made in terms of an asset, was tested first. Then came the case of our late famous individual. His name is Kivuitu versus Kivuitu.
Yeah.
That is husband. In all these circumstances, it's husband.
So it's husband versus the wife.
Yes.
Oh.
In dividing matrimonial property.
Yeah.
This gives the aspect of contribution. You know, someone wanted, what did this person contribute?
Yeah.
You see, companionship, bearing children for you, sacrificing career moves, sacrificing time, and things like that. And here we're talking about professionals who opt to be housewives or housewives who are not professionals. Either way, this is where we have gotten to look at the aspect of contribution. When we looked at the Sharia, there was the aspect of you looked at the intangible contribution, the sacrifices made.
Yeah.
When you came to Kivuitu versus Kivuitu, you were looking at that aspect where you wanted someone to prove that how much did you bring to the table. And if you didn't bring anything to the table, and anything had to be something tangible, then it's thrown out that you have nothing. You get? But before then, there was even an earlier case where we called it the famous case of Hortensia Wanjiku Yahweh. This was also underscoring where we are coming from. I'm giving you like a chronological aspect of where we came from. Now we came to this Egetonto versus Egetonto. We had this very recent one. And we had a deeper meaning of what contribution came in. And contribution was non-monetary contribution. First of all, the court had to emphasize that you have to have contributed.
Yeah.
And now they went further to look at what, because FIDA also played a major role in filing a case to have a definition of that matrimonial Section 7 matrimonial causes act to be declared illegal or unconstitutional. And they failed because they failed to understand the meaning of contribution. Contribution has to be non-monetary, has to be intangible, and if there is monetary, that one you'd look at. So we have what lawyers would call a plethora of cases that guide how we are supposed to deal with these matters. And the underscoring basis or the foundation of this is that both parties are looked at equally before the law. Not a single party will walk out of a marriage in this day and under this dispensation without anything, because contribution can be monetary or non-monetary, tangible or intangible. But
I do want us to talk about that before I let you go.
Yes.
Because I honestly want to look at what does contribution look like when you say we're looking into what you're bringing to the table.
Yes.
And so what does contribution look like in a family setup for the woman who's at home and who's a stay-at-home mom, right, wife, and then also for the one who's not the husband as the provider. In all these cases where we're seeing the man against the woman, contribution, what does it look like in a family setup, and how can one also just go to court and fight for what is rightfully theirs? We are looking at matters family law and the principles that govern family law. Also, in a bit, we are going to have an advocate of the High Court, none other than Titus Mukanzi. We're going to look at the fate of Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, who could be facing impeachment. We're also going to look at the motion, the call to also impeach what's his name, Health Cabinet Secretary Eden Duale. A lot happening. Is there a basis for all this? But right now, back to family matters. You said the court considers each person's contribution.
Indeed.
When we're looking at the man and the woman going to court and fighting it out,
yes,
what does contribution look like?
All right. Our current CJ, who has been a family practitioner and a family judge for a long time, gave a comment that contribution is not being a remote control engineer. So contribution means that you add value to your partner and what they do. It doesn't mean that you have a bank account alongside my bank account, that if I put 100 Gs, you've put 100 Gs, and it doesn't work like that. Essentially, contribution means that taking it from what was and what has been, bearing children is contribution.
Okay.
Cooking food for someone is contribution. Ironing clothes is contribution. But even before we go to breaking this down, the roles, the chores and everything, companionship is contribution. Companionship, because essentially everyone looks at it that only good things blossom where there is nurturing, love, and a good environment.
Yes, facts.
So essentially, if my wife, because now people look at it the other way around, if my wife is the governor of this county, or my wife is the CEO of this company, and she's doing so well, then accolades have to come to me also, in one way or the other, for giving her that peace of mind. And essentially, even if I was not earning and I was at home, and I've been there providing the companionship for this number of years as she makes the money, then I deserve a cut when we get out of this.
How do you quantify giving her a peace of mind to be able to follow her dreams and to build?
Essentially, you know, I normally see certain people come to court and then they want to ride on this, yet there were proceedings. Maybe someone had filed for a judicial separation, filed for a divorce. There were demand letters flying left, right, and center. This become basis for there not being an enabling environment. But if we don't have any of this, then you've asked me, how do you quantify?
Yes.
Maybe what you're fighting for is an estate worth 100 million. And the person who was going for an 8 to 5 wants to claim the whole of it, saying that you never contributed a shilling, you've never worked, you've never done this and this, you were just there. I was feeding you, I was doing all of this. On the other hand, the other person will just have to come claim companionship. At no point during the pendency of the marriage did we ever have a judicial separation. At no point did we even contemplate of doing this and that. Because only what you can prove is what you can claim. Because you cannot claim that we had difficult times. If it was not reduced to us writing or filing documentation, then it does not count. Now, to quantify it, you come from a position of now giving the judge discretion. The discretion for the party to decide that indeed we want to apportion here a percentage. But I've just concluded a matter right now whereby without any justification, a judicial officer decided on a 20-80 percentage, that the woman was getting 20% and the man was getting 80%. And we were not happy. We went on appeal. We asked, what is the basis? At least explain the basis of this. Because you've already acknowledged that she's supposed to get something. The High Court, sitting on appeal,
Yeah.
the family court in Mombasa, overturned that and apportioned it at 50-50.
Oh.
Because said that you have already acknowledged that there was contribution that was non-monetary.
Yes.
Because
So why does it have to be 20,
why
80?
does it have to be 20 and 80 if
Yeah.
it's not coming from an aspect of bias or chauvinistic aspect? So the court said 50-50.
Yeah.
So essentially, when you ask me how do you come to the apportionment, you come at an equal perspective or an equal footing with the law. That gives us what we started by saying. The law or family law has a pillar that has equality as a main pillar. So when you come there, you're equal in front of the laws because you have children.
Yeah.
It matters not who is chucking out the money, but the environment, because someone will be giving out the money, but that money is going to waste. Someone will be giving money, but the environment is so chaotic that that money does not that does not help in any way.
Yeah.
So that peace of mind, that companionship, gives you the equality to claim 50%.
I like that. You know what? We can have this conversation for a whole day. Yeah, we can. But I think that breaks it down and gives us perspective on the kind of contribution. When you say contribution, what exactly, what does it mean? And I know we've not finished everything around family law. We'll definitely have this conversation again. Thank you so much for making time today.
Pleasure was all mine.
How can people get a hold of you? Like I said, Lawrence deals with family matters, everything around family law. And today we're just deconstructing that for you to be able to understand when it comes to family law, ni nini.
Asante sana. In fact, what you've said is very true. This area is so wide.
Yeah.
It's vast, so that it requires more and more sessions. So if given an opportunity, we can continue and try and we deconstruct it for the people to understand properly.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate practicing in Mombasa. My offices are at Imara Building, floor number 5. And we have also an office in Diani. We major mostly in family law, children matters, but we also do other areas. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.